Hey, what is going on, guys? Thanks for checking out this video on my sports Gematria. In this video, I'm going to go over the UFC fights for Saturday, August 6th, 2022. I'm going to show you highlights of each side, and it's going to be up to you to determine who you think will win based on the numbers. I encourage you to add additional information on top of this if needed for you to feel confident in your own pick. And I wish you guys the best of luck on all your picks for today. Let's go ahead and get into the fights. Bring up a bigger screen here. We're going to be looking at UFC Fight Night Santos versus Hill. We're going to be doing all 6 main card fights from Lipski, Kachara, all the way up to Hill and Santos. On this side of the screen is what I call my daily numbers, date numerology, Gregorian Hebrew calendar. And then on this side of the screen is what I call my game numbers specific to the game. The way that I have it structured here is I have the name of the event up top, the location, city, state, stadium. I have the weight class of the fight right here. And then one fighter is going to be right here, his name Gematria, his birthday to and from, his fight record, any type of win or losing streak he may be on, as well as his UFC record. In the middle is going to be the head-to-head Gematria for the last names. And then the other fighter is going to be at the bottom here, the name Gematria, birthday to and from, their current fight record, any type of win or losing streak that they're on, as well as their UFC record. So we have 6 fights that we're going to get into. We'll start with the first one for the night. We're going to be looking at, we'll start with Lipski versus Kachara. I'm going to be butchering the names like I always do. Forgive me. Let's start with this first fight here. All right. So Ariane Lipsky versus Priscilla Katiara. We're going to start with Priscilla. What are some numbers for Priscilla to win this fight? And then we're going to go over some numbers for Ariane to win this fight. So starting with Priscilla, if Priscilla was going to win this fight, it could be as simple as her opponent's name, meaning that Priscilla, she could become 12-4 for a fight record in her career. And she would do that fighting against Ariane Lipsky, which comes to 124. Ariane Lipsky 124. Priscilla could become 12-4, like 124 for a fight record with a win. Ariane Lipsky, it's the 193rd day of her current age, and 193 mathematically is the 44th prime number. And it could be a reason why Priscilla becomes 4-4 for a UFC record with a win, as she becomes 12-4, sitting on 4 losses with a win against Ariane Lipsky, which comes to 124, which just happens to be the 193rd day of her age, the 44th prime number. This is Priscilla's 8th UFC fight. This is Ariane's 8th UFC fight, and Ariane can get her 8th loss for her career. And that's what I would put towards Priscilla win this fight. If Ariane Lipsky was going to win this fight, it would just kind of go in reverse a little bit. Instead of Priscilla becoming 4-4, like 44 for a UFC record, Ariane Lipsky would become 4-4 for a UFC record with a win on the 193rd day of her age, the 44th prime number. Ariane Lipsky, this is her 22nd fight for her career, and she can get her 2nd win in a row, 22-2, like 2-2-2. This being the year of 2022. She can get her 2nd win in a row in her 22nd fight in the year 2022. So she can have the Gregorian year on her side if she were to win. She would become 15-7 for a fight record, like 157. 157 mathematically is the 37th prime number. I didn't see anything directly connecting to this. I mean, other than on the calendars, it will be the 37th day of the Gregorian religious side of the calendar, the side I completely made up, but yet modeled after the Hebrew. So that could play in her favor. We can probably mark that as a super light gray instead of a dark one to show this is the Hebrew religious 157 and 37th prime. It is the 37th day on that side of the calendar. But 192, or total spent 193 days since her birthday. It is the 9th day of the 12th month on the Hebrew civil side, 912, 192, just anagrams of each other. And 11 and 5, I didn't really see anything for Priscilla, or 115. I mean, either one of these two they're gonna have the same UFC record either which way. It's the 44 or the 3 and 5, so it doesn't really help too much. I think it's really just going to come down to, is it Ariane Lipsky's 124 for Priscilla 124, or Ariane Lipsky with the 157 on the 37th day, that 22 and 2 for the year 2022. Outside of that, not a whole lot to kind of play with on this particular fight. So if I were you, I would just kind of carefully consider each side, and I wouldn't make a quick judgment. Maybe Priscilla, just because she's the underdog, has the value, since there's not a whole lot of numbers between the two. Maybe just take the underdog just for value's sake. But Ariane Lipsky, she is younger, probably has a little bit more energy, and yeah, I would just be cautious. I guess one thing else that could go against Priscilla is her full name sums to 111, and she can sit on 11 wins for her career as she ends her one-fight win streak. That can go against her a little bit. But that's all I have for this particular fight for right now. So I would just advise to continue to look over this one carefully, consider both sides, and let's move on to the next one. Sergi Spivak versus Augusta Sakai. So let's start with Spivak, and then we'll go over numbers for Sakai. So if Spivak was going to win this fight, he could become 15-3 for a fight record in his career. Today has 153 date numerology on the Hebrew religious side of the calendar. In his 18th fight, he can get a second win in a row, 18-2, kind of like 182, which is my bias number. I always look for things like that, 182, 218, 281. And today is the 218th day on the Gregorian. 218, 182, 18th fight, and get a second win for his career. And Sakai versus Spivak sums to 44. And Sakai can get his fourth loss in a row as it becomes 4-4 for a UFC record with the loss. This being his 21st fight, his 8th UFC fight, 218 on the 218th day, where Serge Spivak can become 18-2, or 8 in his 18th fight and get a second win in a row, kind of like 182. Those would be the numbers for Sergi Spivak. If Augusta Sakai was going to win this fight, it would come back to the 44 number. Sakai versus Spivak sums to 44. If you actually write out the number 44, it sums to 144. And Sergi Spivak can become 14-4, like 144, as he picks up his fourth UFC loss for his career. And then Augusta would sit on 4 losses for his career with a win, instead of becoming 4-4 and getting his fourth loss in a row. Today does have 36 date numerology on the Gregorian. 36 sums to 53. Augusta Sakai could become 5-3, like 53, for a UFC record with a win. And then he'd also get his 16th win for his career. 53 is the 16th prime number. And so that's what I would put up for these two guys. Sakai and Spivak does sum to 152 and 91. Just like the number 36 sums to 152 and 91, as well as that 53. So it could just complete for Augusta, 16th win, 5-3 UFC, 53 the 16th prime. So he has some numbers. So both sides have some pretty decent numbers for each other to win and or lose. So So definitely consider both sides and what makes the most sense for you in this particular fight. Going on to the next one. Julianna Millers versus Brogan Walkers. This one didn't have a whole lot of numbers that I feel confident in on either side. It is the 218th day of the Gregorian. Walkers versus Millers, sums to 218. Very appropriate day for these two to fight. But if Julianna Millers is going to win this fight, the only thing I can really make up for her really is that it's 91 days since her birthday. 91 is the 13th triangular number, and she could become 4-1 for a fight record in her career. 41, the 13th prime number. So maybe there's a connection there between those two. Outside of that, this fight is taking place in Las Vegas, which sums to 23. Or more specific, Las Vegas, Nevada, which sums to 83. 83, the 23rd prime number. Brogan Walkers could become 8-3, like 83 for a fight record in her career with a loss. On the flip side, though, this fight is taking place in the UFC Apex, which sums to 113. Brogan Walkers, this is her 11th fight. She can get her third win in a row, 11-3, kind of like 113. Brogan Walkers could become 9-2, like 92 on the 92nd day of Julianna Miller's current age. And going back to UFC Apex 113, it also sums to 32. And Julianna Miller's could become 3-2, like 32, with the loss. It's both these fighters' first UFC fight officially, so very little records to go on. But that's what I have for this one. I would consider. I probably wouldn't. I don't know. This probably has a good line to it though. Watch. Yeah, it's the almost even line. So this would be a good line to bet because it's not like this drastic line, but there's not a whole lot of numbers that makes me feel confident in wanting to bet, which is kind of a tricky thing when it comes to Gematria. Like when you do sports Gematria, sports betting and sports Gematria are different because when you're betting on sports, you're looking for value and lines. But when it comes to sports Gematria, the numbers that you find don't necessarily always give you that side that has the value. And so you just kind of have to play it by ear or whatever you feel most comfortable with. With something like this, I think either one of them kind of have value at 120 or 100. I mean, it's not a drastic difference, but there's not a whole lot of numbers for either side. So it's like you want to make a bet because the lines aren't too crazy, but the numbers for the fight, there's not a whole lot here. And so it just kind of, I don't know. Brogan Walker sums to 79, the 22nd prime. She can end her 2-fight winning streak with a loss as Julianna Millers gets her 2-fight win streak or gets her second win in a row. A better way to say it, 2-2, like 22. Julianna Miller sums to 222. So that could be something that goes for Julianna Millers. Tough call. Just not a whole lot. I'll type something up for a pick on my Patreon, but I don't know if me personally would be betting on this one, even though the line isn't terrible at all for either side. But let's keep it moving. Muhammad Uzman versus Zach Pagao. We'll start with Zach, and then we'll go over Muhammad. So if Zach was going to win this fight, your guess is as good as mine. I don't know. Maybe it's probably because of the 70 here. Uzman versus Pago or Paga sums to 70. And Zach Pago could become a perfect 7-0, like 70. I don't know why I didn't catch that before I hit the record button, but I just now caught that. That's funny. I was going to say there's not a whole lot of numbers here, but I'm wrong. There's a 70 that was just staring me in the face the whole time, and I didn't even know it. But Zach could become a perfect 7-0 with a win, like 70. Uzman versus Pega sums to 70. Uzman versus Pega sums to 38, and this is the 163rd day of Zach's current age. 163 is the 38th prime number. 38 is just a reflection of 83. This is taking place in Las Vegas, Nevada. 83, the 23rd prime. Las Vegas comes to 83, or Las Vegas comes to 23. And then Muhammad Uzman could become 8-3 for a fight record in his career. So Muhammad Uzman and Brogan Walkers, they have the same 8-3, 83 connection between the two. And because one fight is after the other, maybe this can be a clue for a live bet or something. You know, if you're watching this fight and Julianna Miller just destroys Brogan Walkers or whatever, and Brogan Walkers falls to 8-3, maybe there's a good possibility that Muhammad Uzman will also become 8-3 to go along with it. And plus, there's a little bit more here, like that 7-0, 70, 163rd day, that 38th prime number. Uzman versus Pago sums to 38 and 70. 38 is just a reflection of 83. So there might be a little bit more there for Zach than there would be for Julianna when it comes to that 8-3 connection. But something to keep in mind when watching the fights, knowing that Muhammad Uzman and Brogan Walker have the same exact connection for their record if they were to lose and or win. But let's switch it over to Muhammad Uzman. If he was going to win this fight, one thing that can help him out maybe is that it's the 218th day of the Gregorian year. It's the 128th day of his current age, 128, 218. They're just anagrams of each other. Maybe that's something interesting for him that can help him out. Today, I want to say today it doesn't have 18. Because Zach, if he loses, he becomes 6-1 for a fight record like 61. 61 is the 18th prime number, but I didn't see any 18 connections. 61, 131, 41, 85, 40. Zach Pagao sums to 41. It could be a name thing. 61 sums to 41. His name sums to 41. Maybe he's destined to become 6-1 like 61. 61 sums to 41. That's almost basically what I have on. That's it. 41 is the 13th prime number. Uzman versus Pagao sums to 169, which has a square root of 13. Muhammad Uzman was born 4/1 like 41. So that could be something. 4-1, date of his birth. Wait, he wasn't born in the year 33. What am I doing? Let's look at this. Born in the year 33. 89, born in the year 89. Maybe an old ass dude. Kicking butt at an old age. What else? I think that's it for right now. This is another fight I would, well, I don't know. I like that 70. I usually like connections like that. But that's all I have for this one for right now. Oh, heavyweight. There's another one. Heavyweight slumps to 61. Zach could become 6-1 in the heavyweight division with a loss. So that can go get some as well. So there are some numbers here for Muhammad if we kind of pick at it a little bit. Let's move on to the next fight here. Co-main event, Vincent Luke versus Jeff Neal. So if Jeff Neal was going to win this fight, it could be because his opponent, his name, Vincent Luke, sums to 154, and Jeff Neal could become 15-4 for a fight record in his career with a win. It's the 9th day of the 12th month for the Hebrew civil calendar, like 9/12. This being his 19th fight, he can get his second win in a row. 19-2, like 192, anagram of 912. At the same time, Vincent Luke would become 21-9-1 for a fight record in his career with a loss. 2-1-9-1, 9-1-2, 1-9-2. So there's just it could be a Hebrew civil pattern here. 9th day of the 12th month, 19th fight, get his second win in a row. Vincent Luke would become 2-1-9-1. Same numbers all being used. However, Vincent Luke summoned to 154 could play in his favor because Jeff Neal's fight record would be the same as Vince Luke's UFC record. So even though Vincent Luke summons to 154 and Jeff Neal could become 15-4 for a fight record in his career with the win, Vincent Luke could become 15-4 for a UFC record in his career with a win. Today being the 218th day on the Gregorian civil calendar, Vincent Luke could become 22-8-1 for a fight record with a win, 22-8-1, 2-1-8, same numbers being used. But also, it's on the Hebrew religious side. It's a day leaving 228 left, 228. He could become 22-8-1 with the win, Vincent Luke. And then one last thing, it's the 253rd day of his current age, 253. 53 is the 22nd triangular number. That could be the reason why he gets his 22nd win for his career. And it's 22 days till Jeff Neal's next birthday, so it could be a 22 pattern. Also, one more thing, 113 days till Vincent's next birthday and his 31st fight. He can end his one-fight losing streak, 3-1-1, 1-1-3. This fight taking place in UFC Apex, 1-1-3. So, decent side for either one. And then let's end it here with the main event. Diego Santos versus Jamal Hill. If Jamal Hill was going to win this fight, you have to understand that this is UFC Fight Night Santos versus Hill, which sums to 133, taking place in Las Vegas, Nevada, which sums to 133. This is Jamal Hill's 13th fight where he can get his third win in a row, like 133. Diego Santos, it's 211 or a total span of 212 days since his birthday. And he could become 22-11 for a fight record in his career with a loss. The reason why I have both of these marked in a light blue like that is because 211, 212, 2211, they're just the same numbers being used, right? So 211, 212 days since his birthday, he could become 22-11. It's just the same numbers, 211, 212, 2211, same numbers being used. Also, 2211. 2211 is the 66 triangular number, and Jamal Hill written out sums to 66. And so that could be the numbers for Jamal Hill to win this fight. If Diego Santos was going to win this fight, same type of pattern here. UFC Fight Night, Santos versus Hill sums to 133. Las Vegas, Nevada, 133. And Diego Santos' 33rd fight, he can end his one-fight losing streak. 3-3-1 is just a reflection of 133. This takes place in Las Vegas, which sums to 86-23. This being August the 6th, which sums to 8/6 or 6/8 or 8/6. And then you have the 23 here. Las Vegas, Nevada sums to 83, the 23rd prime. Diego Santos can get his 23rd win for his career. That could be how that goes. I didn't really see anything for Jamal Hill becoming 11-1 or 10-2. I guess he can end his two-fight winning streak as he gets his second loss in a row. Or, excuse me, he ends his two-fight win streak as he gets his second loss for his career. It is 79 days since his 31st birthday. 79 is the 22nd prime number. So it could be a two-pattern. He can end his two-fight winning streak as he gets his second loss for his career, as he gets his second UFC loss for his career to go with. And so you have that two-pattern, 79 days since his birthday, 79 the 22nd prime number. What else? I think that might be it. Oh, Santos versus Hill sums to 73. 73 is the 21st prime number. This is UFC Fight Night, Santos versus Hill, which sums to 367. 367 is the 73rd prime number. 73 is the 21st prime number. Santos versus Hill sums to 73, the 21st prime number. Diego Santos could become 23-10, which kind of looks like a 2-3-1. 2-3-1 is the 21st triangular number. And so that's just what I have for right now for these fights. Went over them pretty quickly. Didn't want to spend too much time, even though it looks like I'm going on 25 minutes anyway. But some of these fights have some interesting numbers. Definitely consider both sides. Always weigh both sides for the fights. Just whatever makes sense to you. I personally will be making picks on these. Every single one of them, they're going to be on my Patreon page if that's what you're looking for. If not, I've given you enough information here for you to make your own decision. If not, make your own decision. Enough information here for you to build out on top of what I already have. So that way you can find some more connections to have you feel more confident in your decision or whichever decision you want to take between these fighters. But yeah, it should be interesting. I really appreciate you guys watching. I really appreciate the support. I tried to get this video out yesterday, but I just got caught up with some personal stuff. But thank you for you guys' patience. I really appreciate it. Appreciate your support. Hopefully you win all the money in the world. And like I said, weigh out both sides. Carefully consider both sides. Whatever makes the most sense to you. I wish you guys the best of luck on your picks. And again, I hope you win all the money in the world. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.